Welcome back to the channel, guys, and today we're going to be upgrading two of our snakes here in the collection, being the white-lipped pythons, into some new enclosures, so visual enclosures. Up until this point they've been in tubs, as grow-out tubs. They're feeding well, they're thriving, they're doing really well, so now we're going to move them over into these larger enclosures, which I don't suggest when you first get the snakes. They tend to do better in the smaller spaces. To each their own, but that's what we found over time. Smaller space to start with, get them feeding, get them comfortable, and then upgrade them into these larger enclosures. So we're going to do that today. We're going to go through and show you the bits and pieces that we've got to upgrade them into. And again, this is just going to be a stepping stone, because these guys will get between, let's say, 6 to 10 feet, somewhere in that vicinity. So what they're going into today is not going to be their forever home either. But very unique snakes, beautiful looking, as the name suggests, white lips. They're native to New Guinea and also to parts of Indonesia. And they've got a bit of an attitude to them as well. So I have seen ones that actually calm down pretty well if you put enough time in with them. Generally speaking, not the greatest snake for handling and giving a little cuddle and things like that. But yeah, you'll see that later on in the video. So let's get into it. First thing is first, this is what we're dealing with today. We've got one of the Reptile 1 enclosures. This is a 45 by 45 by 60. I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of these ones, especially with the mesh top, because it lets out a lot of heat and humidity, but it is a stepping stone, so this will do for the meantime. Plus, I've already got one of these at home, so I thought I'd just buy a second one, keep them nice and uniformed. We've got the Australian Cypress bark. That's going to make up the majority of the substrate, along with the cocoa block. Keep the humidity nice and high, because these guys need high humidity, as well as these little misting systems. That's going to be in there as well to keep the humidity nice and high. We've got some hides, some vines, we've got some heat sources, and then we've also got some more climbing stuff here. And this is the other glass enclosure, very similar to the last one, Exoterra, I believe. It's got the double doors at the front. This one's just been sitting around for ages and not being used, so thought that I would use one of these as well. Again, it's got the mesh top. It's not great, but stepping stones, it's going to work for now. And that's the final product, guys, all put together now. This is a 45 by 45 by 60. It's got the one lock at the front there. It has a spot up here you can run some cables through for various different things. And same with the top, if you want to put a heat globe going through the top and dropping down through the bottom. But we're going to have the domes on top, let the heat go through the mesh at the top there. So now it is time to start decorating and getting everything into the enclosure for them. All right, so this is day 2 of these builds. We got a whole bunch of snakes that needed feeding last night, and we got sidetracked, so we didn't get around to finishing them. So I've got a little helper on board today, and she got a nasty little boo-boo this morning, didn't you, on your cheek? Nasty little sore when she fell out of a car. You fell out of your car. But anyway, she's going to give me a hand today, and we're going to get these white lips sorted. They did have a feed last night in the end, so I wouldn't normally want to move them today, so we may not move them today, but we'll see how we go.
Are we going over to, oh my God, so
You helping Daddy?
are we hopping on paper or can we
What are we doing today? We're putting the snakes in new enclosures, hey, new homes.
And we scrape our snakes go home.
That's right. This is the next step on the list, so the cocoa block. We're going to sort this out. We're going to put this into 3 to 5 litres of water and let that expand. It says over a 20-minute period. I think it's a bit quicker than that, but yeah, it's going to absorb a lot of that water, and then it's going to keep the humidity nice and high in the enclosure for these guys. They tend to burrow down underneath the substrate as well, which they quite like, and having that high humidity is just going to benefit them. And that's as hard as it needs to be, really. I mean, you can sit that there and just let it absorb the water over that period of time. I tend to break it up a little bit to start with, And then, yeah, after about that 20-minute period, give or take, this will just be like a solid mush, really. It won't be that liquid that you can see at the moment floating around. So very good, like I said, for holding the humidity for these guys, or any species, any type of animal, I should say, in general, that needs the high humidity. Look at adding something like this into your substrate. All right, first thing that's going to be going in is the substrate. So we're going to use this Australian cypress bark along with the cocoa. Both of them hold humidity really well, so it's going to be great for these guys. They're going to thrive in it. Plus, with the misting system on top, we should do well. So like I was saying, I'm not the biggest fan of these types of enclosures because they have the ventilation on the top, which lets out a lot of humidity and heat, but they're going to be grow outs. So we're not going to go too hard with these things, but we're going to get them set up properly so that these guys can continue to thrive before they go into a long-term enclosure. This one has a blacked out background, and this one has a bit of a funky looking, I don't know what that is, a rock wall or something like that. So very similar. Different brands, Reptile One and Exoterra, I believe. If I was to pick one, I would probably go this one over here. I quite like this, plus it comes already assembled, which is like 100 times better. Hey?
Gracie first.
Gracie first. All right. What I want you to do is tip this whole bag into there. Go. Ready? Tip it up. Tip it all out. That's it. Empty the whole bag. Give it a good shake. Shake, 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 shake. Good stuff. And we're going to spread it out a little bit. Spread it out like this. Using our hands. So that's an 8-litre bag, and you can see it's already a pretty thick substrate, so that is good. We're not going to have to beef it up too much with the cocoa, but we will put it in for the purpose of the humidity. So this is the cocoa that we're going to mix in. So just grab a whole bunch of this, and just throw it in. That's it. Throw it in.
Oh, it's a bit dirty.
It's a little bit dirty, yeah, but it's all right. We can wash your hands. That's it. And what you can also use with this, apart from the cocoa, if you want, you can mix in sphagnum moss. Is really good for holding humidity as well. Hang on, that's probably enough there. And now we're going to give it a mix with our hands. Get nice and dirty. That's it. We want nice, thick substrate. Mix it all around. All around. Nice and even. And because it's got such a thick layer to it as well, and it's quite heavy, it will hold the plants and the ornaments pretty well. I probably will get a few rocks just to anchor down some branches, but for now, this is going to work pretty well. All right, on to number 2, the exact same thing, all right? I want you to empty this bag into the enclosure. Ready? Pick it up.
Okay.
That's it. Ooh, it's heavy. It's heavy. Tip it all out. Give it a good shake. Shake, 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 shake. Oh, half's on the floor. That's good. Looks good. All right, we'll pull the bag out. Now I want you to do the same thing. Spread it around. That's it. Push it all the way to the back. Spread it nice and even all the way through. And then we're going to mix in some of this cocoa as well. Ready?
Okay.
Get a whole bunch of this and throw it in. Ready? Throw it in. That's it. Probably should have done this outside. Didn't really think that through, but that's all right. We can vacuum. All right, I think that will probably be enough. And now, same thing. Bubba, we're going to mix this all through with our hands. Get nice and dirty. That's it, like this. Yeah. It's all right, we can wash your hands in a minute. Nice and even. Mix it all around. Good sensory activity for the kids. Hey? Okay. All right, next thing we're going to do is put this tree, if that's what you want to call it, right here in the middle. Right, smack bang in the middle. Give it a little bit of climbing to get up nice and high underneath the heat, the dome at the top. We're going to cover that over. And like I said, you'll probably want to get a couple of rocks or something to anchor this down a little bit. Not too bad when the snakes aren't super heavy. Yes, Bubba?
Oh, we'll do this one there.
Where do you want to put that one?
Do this one.
How about we try doing it like this? What do you reckon? Do you reckon that looks all right? Do you reckon that looks cool? Like that? Good job. So I ended up actually getting 2 different size branches. I don't know why. I thought one of the enclosures was taller than the other, but they're pretty much the exact same. So anyway, this is going to do for now. We'll probably have to add a few different things in, and we still have the vines. That's what I'm going to add in next. So hopefully they hold pretty well at the top, just to give them something else to sort of go up to, so we have different levels that they can pick and choose the heat. We've got a hide down here in the bottom, and then over here Grace has picked this corner. Open that one, Bubba. Oh, it's stuck. There we go. She's picked that bottom right hand corner for the other hide. So I think we're going to get the vines in next and see how they attach. Hopefully they hold on pretty well. Otherwise I'm going to have to silicone them into place. Depends on the humidity. They have like little suction cups and it's glass, so it will obviously hold to begin with, but we'll just have to trial and error and see how that goes over time. All right, so the vines are in for the first one. I've got 2 vines per enclosure. We're going to try and hide these suction cups on the side with a bit of greenery, but doesn't look too bad. You can use them as anchors as well. So obviously I've tied it around this middle stump to hold that in place and make it a bit more secure. I don't know how these suction cups are going to go. I haven't really ever used them because I don't usually use glass enclosures, but so far it's looking pretty cool. Looking a bit like a jungle setup, if you will. But yeah, only time's going to tell whether these actually hold or not. But like I said, I can maybe silicone them to the walls and just be prepared to never have them move again. But looking good so far. And that is number 2 set up. Bit of an issue, obviously, with this not being as tall as what I was hoping it would be. But we'll play it by ear, see how this pans out. But I've given whoever goes in this a bit of a higher perch up the top here, and then this one through the middle here. Again, using it as a bit of a stabilizer for this. I'm just not 100% confident on these suction cups. I just don't want these guys to fall mid-bask. So I'm definitely going to have to keep an eye on that. They're not super heavy snakes at the moment, which is good. So I'll probably get away with it, but I probably will, just for safety reasons, silicone them in as time goes on. And now it's time to add in the greenery. This really makes it all come together and make it look a bit more natural, a bit more realistic. This is all just stuff that I've had from older builds and things like that I never ended up using. So I'm going to see how we can incorporate all of this into these enclosures. Give them plenty of hiding spaces, make them feel nice and secure in these new enclosures, and really bring it to life. This is where we're up to now. We have most of the greenery in. Grace kind of peeled off halfway through, so I've just been doing it by myself, but most of the greenery's in. I'm not going to be able to hide them that great, so I'm going to have to come up with something. It's not the end of the world, it's more for aesthetics, but we want to make sure that there's enough greenery in there so that they have places to hide and they feel secure. So that's number 1. And this one over here, watch out, Bubba.
I'll sit down.
You can sit down. And this is number 2. So coming along quite good. I think it looks pretty good. Plenty of greenery in there, plenty of hiding spaces for them. They're going to be hiding mainly up the back there, I'd say, in their hides, especially when they first go into them. But so far, so good. Coming together very nicely. So now we have to organise these misting systems and get them into a nice position where they can just release mist constantly to keep the humidity nice and high in these enclosures.
I'll go a swing. I'm doing hopping a
What are we doing? We're helping the snakes, aren't we? We're giving them a bigger home to live in.
I will helping the snakes. I will helping always that.
Do you think the enclosures look good? Yeah. Did you do them? Did you do all of this yourself? You did? Oh wow, good job.
I will give you a full make the most good bag of good.
You reckon we get those misting systems into place now? So we can keep that humidity nice and high for them, yeah? Sound good? Sound good?
Are we gonna move? I want to go away. Are we going? I'm hoping go with snakes. Are we go? Are we going? Are we going?
Okay, let's get these systems done. These are the misting systems that we've gotten, these foggers. So I haven't actually used these before, but they just sound like a good idea, so we're going to see how they go. These are the little bowls that the foggers are going to sit in. So basically, you submerge it in the water, and then it uses that water, obviously, to just continually mist the enclosure. I don't know how long it'll last. I guess it depends on how much water is in there. But I've got one down there, and then I've got the other one down in this corner over here. So that should create a very nice environment for these guys. So the system for this one is now in. It's going to sit just like that in the water bowl. The cord runs down the side. Probably have to figure something out for that as well. But then it's going to run up behind the background over there and be hidden, which is good. And then this one, I've just got it coming in from this side vent over here and running down into the water dish there. So far so good. So hopefully it all works. Final product is in place. I've moved the enclosure into the room they're going to be staying in. Everything is hooked up and running. Heat source. Got the fogger down the bottom there. So that's basically a red light to indicate that it's working. The fog you can see, well, the mist is going to be dropping over the edges, going into the substrate, keeping that nice and moist. So it's going to be high humidity down the bottom, obviously a lot higher than the top. But these guys will spend most of their day hidden underneath substrate in their hide. So that's good to keep the humidity high down there. And they'll come out for a climb during the night. So,
What they offer again?
hey,
You offer go take boy.
are you going to get the snakes out? You're going to get the white lips out? Nice. Alrighty, they are out, which was not fun, but they're out. You can see, hopefully on the camera, the beautiful iridescence in these guys in the sun. That beautiful white lip that runs up the side. And this particular locality, as they get older, that yellow and white belly underneath there will get a little bit more prominent, but beautiful iridescence, just basically like a rainbow in the sun, depending on the angle that you can see it from. These guys are absolutely stunning though. A little bit more calm now that they're out, but as I said, I don't want to stress them too much because you can see there, had a big feed last night, and he's a little bit touchy. And this is Mum. She's probably worse temperament-wise than Dad, but in terms of how she looks, how amazing is that? It's like a pure rainbow. And that stunning black head, jet black eyes, and then the white lips underneath. And again, you can see that yellow and white belly on them. Absolutely stunning snakes. Like I said, she had a feed as well last night. You can see that big belly stretched out there. And she's not having a bar of it today, so we won't stress her out too much, but gives you guys a nice little close-up of these guys in the sun. Yep. There we go. Just how beautiful, that's what I was saying, these guys can be. Lucky this camera's on a bit of a tripod. Just missed the old fingers there. Success. Both white lips are in their enclosure now. This is the male He's not too happy about it, but I think he'll settle down in time. He is just ready to launch and absolutely light me up. But luckily I've got zoom on this camera, but he looks absolutely fantastic in there. Really good to see them in these types of enclosures where they can thrive and get a bit more stimulation. It'll take them a little while to settle down, obviously going from their tubs into enclosures like this. It's almost like a whole new world. They're going to be seeing things constantly compared to tubs. And I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of tubs. I do use them for smaller things and grow outs, but I want to get absolutely everything out of tubs that doesn't need to be in it, because how can you beat this? This is just awesome to put them in these kinds of enclosures and actually enjoy them. It's a beautiful animal and they deserve to have a nice enclosure. So we'll see how they go over the next few weeks. Give you guys some updates on the Instagram, show you how they're going. But they look absolutely unreal. Beautiful, beautiful snakes. And that is it for another episode, guys. Hope you enjoyed it today. If you have any questions or if you have any tips, I'm always open to learning new things. There's a couple of things that I would change in the above enclosures, but as I said, they're going to be grow outs, so we're not going to go too hard. As long as they're ticking the boxes and giving these guys an area to thrive in, that's the main thing for now. So we appreciate you guys watching, and we will catch you on the next one.